Hi, welcome. I'm Camille from Chicken Scratch and Sniff, and today is an awesome day for a video because we are celebrating the second birthday of Chicken Scratch and Sniff. So all day long, I'm giving away all kinds of products that are found in my market over on Instagram. So hop on over to Instagram after this is over and enter the contest today, okay? There'll be a couple more, so don't worry if you don't win this next one. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. So today I'm going to talk about three ideas for teaching Howard W. Hunter Chapter 5, which is all about Joseph Smith. If you haven't looked at it yet, go ahead and head to the blog after this scope, and you'll find a study guide, the questions, music ideas, more teaching ideas up on there as well. So that's cknscratch.com, and then click on the Howard W. Hunter button, okay? All right, so idea number 1, you ready? So if you can kind of see this whiteboard, I might have to prop it up a little bit more. Okay, so this says Joseph Smith in the middle with the circle. Here, Adelaide, come here and hold this for me. And one of the ideas is, so you start with Joseph Smith, and we're just going to talk about some of the truths that we've learned because of Joseph Smith, okay? And so you guys can put them in the comments right now, or I'm just going to add some that I thought of, but you can do this with your class. So what truths do we know because Joseph Smith was our prophet? Okay, hold this up just a little bit like that. Can you do it? Mm-hmm. Awesome, thank you. All right, so one of them is we knew more about, well, that's not pretty, the Godhead. Okay, we know there's 3 of them. We know that they have flesh and bones. We know that they look like us, okay? So we know that. Another thing is we know that God talks to us, okay? So we can talk to him and he talks to us. Another thing that we know is that we got the Book of Mormon, right? Joseph Smith translated the Book of Mormon. All right, so put that on here. And then we also have more than that, obviously, but that kind of gets you going. Hi, Leah. All right, and then another one is we have temples. We have all the ordinances in the temples and everything, okay? So temples. All right. Can you hang on a little bit longer? Yeah. Okay. She's doing a good job holding that up. Okay, so those are just some examples of some of the truths that we've learned because Joseph Smith was our prophet, okay? And because he prayed and because he restored the church. And so those are just a couple of things. And you could build like a really big ripple is what I'm going to call this, okay? So this is a ripple. But then what you need to do is then apply it to everybody else. So on the next one, you can put it down now. You're good. Thanks, sweetie. You put you in the middle, okay? And because Joseph Smith restored these things, what blessings do you get, okay? So because we know about the Godhead and more about them, we also know that we're a child of God. Okay? And because we know that God talks to Joseph Smith, we know that he talks to us and that he'll answer our prayers too. Okay? So you can kind of answer your prayers. Keep doing that. And the point is, his ripple has affected you, right? And because of all the things that he did and he restored, you have all these other blessings, like forever families, etc. Okay? So you can just talk about that. The point is to really personalize it, though, and to show how personal the restoration of the gospel was, and that it was meant for each and every person, to bless each and every person, even though it's for the entire world. It's very personal at the same time, okay? All right. The next part is it really talks about the difference between prophets, seers, and revelators. Okay, so Joseph Smith was a prophet, seer, revelator. But why do we use all 3 words, and what all those mean, and what's the differences? Okay, so you can kind of get some objects to kind of help express the differences between the two, and there are overlapping things, absolutely. Okay. But for a prophet, I think of God's mouthpiece, right? And he can tell things that are going to happen in the future, okay? So here's a megaphone, right? And so you can bring a megaphone to kind of emphasize that point. Another one is seer. And so a seer sees things that with spiritual eyes, basically. So think of it in terms of spiritual eyes. And so he can see things in the past, he can see things in the future, he can see things now. Okay, so sunglasses or any type of glasses are great for that. And then a revelator, I liken unto as a magnifying glass, because he discovers things that were previously unknown or forgotten. Okay, and so this helps you get up close and discover those new truths. Okay, so Joseph Smith was a prophet, seer, and revelator. He was also a translator. But the prophets today, or President Monson, the first presidency, all of the quorum apostles are prophet, seers, and revelators as well. And so you can talk about their roles in this, and maybe you could talk about how you've noticed these different roles as they've been prophet, seers, and revelators in our lives today. But then you can also talk about how all those things are things that they have to share with us, right? I mean, some things they can't, but most of the things they need to share it with us. And so are we listening? Are we pondering upon those truths? Are we praying for ourselves to know that what they're telling us is true? Because we can absolutely get that personal witness as well. So we can kind of talk about that a little bit. But I just think that having some kind of object to kind of express those differences might make it easier to understand. All right, last idea. Okay, so we talked about the ripples, we talked about the objects. The last idea, let's flip this over, is with a picture of Joseph Smith, okay? And what you can do at the beginning of your class is you can hand out Post-it notes, just one to a person, and make sure they have a pen to write with, and just ask them to write down a trait or a characteristic of Joseph Smith that they think of, or one that they really admire. And at the beginning of your lesson, just remind people to fill this out if they haven't already as you continue your lesson. And then when you get to this point, you can stop for a few minutes and ask everybody to come and put their Post-its around the prophet Joseph Smith, okay? So I asked my family, and this is what they told me, okay? So one is the fact that he actually took action, okay? It wasn't like that he just thought about what church was right. He actually took action and prayed about it and figured out a way to find out that it was true, okay? He also had great faith to go and pray, right? He was valiant. He was generous. He endured well. Okay, so there's like a whole bunch of things that people are going to come up with. And some of them may be the same. They can be different. But the point is we're all talking about the qualities, characteristic attributes, whatever you want to say, that make Joseph Smith a hero to us, essentially. Because Joseph Smith is a scripture hero for us. And that's one of the things that they're talking about in primary, is scripture heroes. And in the Friend, every month you can see the scripture heroes. And Joseph Smith is one of our scripture heroes, or our real life heroes, right? Today heroes is what I mean. They're all real. And so if he's a hero in our eyes, what kind of characteristics does he have? And then which of these characteristics do we want to develop? Because as we study his life, we can learn how he developed these qualities and how we can in turn develop those qualities as well and continue to come closer to Christ, just like Joseph Smith came closer to Christ. Okay? So there's my ideas for you today. And you guys, there are definitely more ideas up on the blog. The private Facebook group is the most valuable resource I have for you guys, though. So make sure you are joining that as well, because you guys have some of the best ideas, and I love the extra handouts that you guys share up on there as well. So come and join that group. And remember, I'm going to be giving away stuff all day on Instagram for our 2-year birthday. Plus, there's a 20% off discount code over in the market if you guys want to come and join that way too. You guys have a great day. Bye.